The cop's mocking laughter cut through the refined hum of the upscale steakhouse, a jarring sound that made several diners flinch. Officer Danvers, his broad chest puffed out, stood over the table where 17-year-old Elijah sat, his posture a perfect sculpture of quiet dignity. The power dynamic was as stark as the white tablecloth against Elijah's dark skin. Danvers, all swagger and authority, had spotted the teen, dressed in a crisp, affordable button-down, and decided he didn't belong in a place where the silverware cost more than his sneakers. "Let me guess," Danvers sneered, his voice carrying. He picked up Elijah's phone, which was displaying a complex, color-coded study schedule. "You re-in here using the Wi-Fi because you can afford it at home? Or are you waiting for someone to forget their wallet?" He chuckled, a low, ugly sound. He leaned in, his breath smelling of coffee and contempt. "A kid like you, dressed like that? You're either lost or you're planning to dine and dash. Which is it?" Elijah didn't flinch. He simply met the officer's gaze, his own eyes calm and deep. He placed his hands flat on the table, a silent anchor against the storm of public humiliation. "Just breathe," he told himself, hearing the echo of his sister's voice. "Your time will come." The manager, a flustered man in a too-tight suit, scurried over. "Officer, is there a problem?" "That's what I'm determining," Danvers said, his voice booming. "I think this young man needs to come with me for questioning. We can do this the easy way or the hard way." He reached for his cuffs, the metallic click a promise of further degradation. It was then that a voice, cool and sharp as a shard of ice, sliced through the tension. "I'd advise you to reconsider that entire course of action, officer." A woman emerged from a secluded booth in the back. She had been observing, a silent panther in the shadows. She wore a simple but exquisitely tailored dress, and her posture radiated an authority that made Danvers' bluster seem cheap. She didn't look at Elijah, but her presence was a shield. Danvers scoffed. "And who are you, his mama?" "Stay out of this, ma'am. This is police business." The woman ignored him. She walked calmly to Elijah's table and picked up his phone, her eyes scanning the screen. She then turned her gaze to the manager. "The security footage. Now, and your point-of-sale system logs for the last hour. I want to see the transaction history for this table." Her commands were not requests. They were directives, issued with an expectation of immediate compliance. This was her hidden skill, revealed not with shouting but with serene, decisive action, the ability to command a room and dismantle a narrative with forensic precision. The manager, cowed by her intensity, produced a tablet. Within seconds, the truth was displayed for all to see, a digital receipt showing Elijah had paid for his meal and study session coffee over 40 minutes ago. Danvers's face began to pale. The woman finally turned her full attention to him. "You've made a grave error in judgment today, officer," she said, her voice low but carrying. "But people can change. The department is always looking for officers who understand community outreach and restorative justice. I could make a call. We could find a place for you in a new initiative, one that values dignity over suspicion." It was a test, an offer of redemption, but one that required him to admit his foundational failing. Danvers, his ego bruised but not broken, bristled. "I don't need a lecture from some social justice warrior. I've been on the force for 15 years. I know how to handle myself." "Do you?" she asked, a ghost of a smile on her lips. "Then you won't mind explaining your conduct today to my office." She reached into her clutch and produced a simple, matte black business card. She didn't hand it to him. She placed it on the table, as if he were beneath the effort of the exchange. Danvers picked it up. His eyes scanned the embossed text. His face, once flushed with power, drained of all color, becoming a mask of pure dread. Katherine Johnson, Attorney General of the United States. The air left his lungs in a soft whoosh. The proud expert, the figure of authority, was utterly exposed. The backstory wasn't just that she was his sister. It was that she was the nation's top law enforcement official, a woman who had built her career on prosecuting systemic injustice and police misconduct. The corrupt, arrogant antagonist hadn't just insulted a teenager. He had attempted to illegally detain the brother of the one person in the country with the absolute power to end his career and reshape the system he represented. Officer Danvers did not speak. The cuffs felt heavy and foolish in his hand. He looked at Elijah, truly looked at him, and saw not a threat, but a young man of profound, quiet strength. He saw the dignity he had tried to strip away. He saw the potential he had been too blind to recognize. The transformation in his heart was not about saving his job. It was about the shattering of his entire worldview. Weeks later, Officer Danvers requested, and was granted, a transfer to a youth liaison and community outreach program. He became a vocal advocate for de-escalation training, using his own story of catastrophic failure as a cautionary tale. He never received a direct apology from the Attorney General, but he didn't need one. His change of heart was his apology to the world. Elijah and Catherine left the restaurant together, her arm linked through his. "You okay?" she asked softly. "I am now," he said. "You showed him that the uniform doesn't give you power. Character does." She smiled. "No, Elijah. You showed him. You held your ground. You never let him take your dignity. All I did was state the facts." The lesson was clear. True power is not in a badge or a title, but in the unshakable knowledge of your own worth. And sometimes, justice isn't about a fall, it's about a transformation.